Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Mischief. Richie here, where I talk about my favorite thing in the entire world, goddamn cryptocurrency. I've got a lot of construction going on somewhere. I think it's the apartment above me, maybe below me. They're bashing away. Hopefully you can't hear it. Today we're going to be talking about Book token because the chart is going insane. Take one moment, please, to like and subscribe to this channel. I would very much appreciate it. We've been covering Book since it launched, and we are now all-time high price, which is fantastic, which means everyone who got into the pre-sale for Book, who hodled, is in profit. And if you use some of the other tools, maybe you've also made money. Probably have, because all-time high, baby. Oh, yeah. Right, so let's check out the good news first. There's lots of good news today, actually. There's no bad news. Perfect Sunday. So we have here the chart for Book of Binance, and we can see the launch and then the fall to the all-time low, which was shortly after the pre-sale launch, then came back up, had a long decline, slow decline, as most of the market has been doing recently, and then a rocket up. Massive pump. Actually, from the bottom, we are now 300%, so it's 3x from the bottom. Cat fight. Right, anyway, so 4 ways to use Book. Now let's start first with the preface, which is very important, that I want to talk about. And that is something that I was in a Telegram group yesterday, and someone's strategy for some reason was to use Book and BookUSD in this new launch. The best way to do that is to sell your MSS to get into Book. That's a terrible idea. MSS, Mint Stake Share, is a passive income protocol created by the founder of Book, before Book, Aaron, right? So Aaron created Book, and he also created Mint Stake Share. There's no reason to sell your MSS token to go into Book, because that's essentially just moving money from one protocol to the other. Best way to use Book would be to invest fresh capital, or BNB, that you have on the side, if you believe that Book is going to go to $1, right? And currently, the price of Book is just about 1 cent. We've almost hit 1 cent, actually, which is really bullish. Now, the reason I wouldn't be selling my MSS to get into Book is because, yeah, it's just basically circulating funds. That would not mean any fresh capital coming into the ecosystem. It would just be moving the chart of MSS down to therefore raise the chart of Book, and that's not healthy in the long run. So as I I show this wallet here. I have 3.9 million. I have 46,000 today, and I'm going to continue to compound. So this is my base chain one. I'm continuing to DCA into this, and I'm continuing to compound. I will be making a buy on this with some funds that I got from Book. And so I'm not even selling MSS to use Book. I'm actually profit taking in Book to fund my MSS. So I'm doing actually the opposite way around. But different strategies. It's DeFi, it's decentralized. You can do what you want with it. Let's get into Book of Binance, 4 ways to earn with it. So the first thing you can do with Book of Binance to earn is very simple. Buy it and hold. That's it, right? Buy Book. That's right. Binance Smart Chain, PancakeSwap, take your BNB, buy Book, and hold. That's it. Purchase and hold Book. This is often the simplest and most effective strategy. Just watch the value of Book grow over time. You don't need to do anything. Just ignore the chart when it's red and wait for it to turn green. The key point about this is that it doesn't need everyone to cooperate with this strategy. If half of Book holders just bought and held, then this would make this very effective and would show great price impact, okay? And that's, what you can see, over on CoinGecko, right? If you'd have bought at any point since February, you'd now be in profit if you just held your Book. So I suggest using about half of your Book just to hodl. Put it in a wallet, put it to the side, and just wait for the price to go up. Talk about Book, tell people about Book, and it goes up, right? The bigger this community gets, the stronger we get, right? The market cap for Book, the moment, is $1.6 million on Dex Screener. For some reason, on the old CoinGecko, though, it is 3.7 million. But these are both still really small market caps for a meme coin. There's a lot of upside to go, right? So that's strategy number 1. Super simple. Come to the website, which is bookmemebsc.com, which is just there under my name. And you will see the Book website. Then they have a button there. Buy, right? Press it. It will bring you to PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap runs on many chains. Book is on the Binance Smart Chain where PancakeSwap originated, right? And all you need to do is come here, take your BNB. Let's take 0.2 BNB, 100 bucks. You fix your slippage. Usually you just need normal slippage. Auto will do fine, right? And you swap. I'll get 12,000 book and I'll add to the stack on this wallet. That's it. Simple as that. Now you own Book and you join the Telegram. Bottom ones here. You can join the Telegram, join the X, get engaged with the community. They do have a game in their Telegram too, which is fun. We won't be talking about that today. We're talking about 4 big ways, main ways, I think, to use Book and earn with Book. So that's it. Number 1, buy, hold. Done, right? Number 2. Now this is what I've been doing. This is called the V3LP tool. This was released a couple months back, and I made a video on it when it launched, and I showed my position. So we're just going to update on this. So how does this work? This is a pretty fascinating way to use concentrated liquidity, right? So if you don't know what concentrated liquidity is, when you're using PancakeSwap, right? There, I just swapped some Book, right? And some BNB into Book, right? And there's a fee that's charged by PancakeSwap DEX when I swapped those tokens. That fee goes to PancakeSwap developers, of course, but also goes to anybody who's holding liquidity in BNB and Book. Now you can see this if I come to FARP and liquidity and I come to my positions, you're going to see that I do have a position to illustrate this basically. And what this means is I'm getting the fees from those swaps. So the more swapping that goes on inside of PancakeSwap, the more fees you get for this, And I made this yesterday, and I've made, 9 cents since yesterday, okay? 64% APR from swapping at the moment with the volume that Book has currently of $41,000. So if this goes up, which it probably will, there will be more volume. Now that's how concentrated liquidities work, and that's how we get fees. So then what then is the V3 liquidity tool? So what's happening here is, say you want to buy Book, you want to hold Book, but you want to sell it and you're not sure when to sell it. Then you can actually use the V3 liquidity pool to sell your Book as the price goes up and get more Book as a bonus for using their tool. So I have done this and I'm having pretty great success with it. So in this tool, there are 281 locked positions. So it's not super popular yet. The ratio here is how much Book per BNB. The lower this goes, this means essentially the higher the price of Book is going, right? It was 100,000, then it was 70,000, now it's 60,000, right? So it's continuing to go down at the moment while Book price is going up. So there is Book token for bonuses for people who are going to use this tool. So far, 3 million Book has been giving as bonuses. There's another 11.6 million there for the taking. You get the bonuses by creating positions. So I've made a few positions. I have this one, position 1, okay? I went with a range here of 33,000 to 165,000. So because the range here is 64,000, that is in range, right? That means just like this position I made, this is different. This is a manual position. This is in range too. It's active, right? It's earning the fees. So just like that, I'm earning fees, actively earning fees, right? Let's zoom in on this, right? I'm actively earning with my position here. So I'm getting fees. Here I have 0.01 BNB and 600 more Book to collect, right? So 600 more Book. That's pretty good, actually. So how much is 600 Book currently? Yep, it's another $6, $5, okay? From this, it's earning, right? Also, I got a bonus of 20,000 Book tokens when I made this liquidity. It was added into my pair. So what's that? What's my bonus there of 20,000 Book? What's that worth now? That would be $181 bonus, right? For doing that as well. Nice. And what's happening is as Book continues to outperform BNB, because BNB is a large cap blue chip, Book is a small cap meme coin growing in value. Yeah. 1 million, 2 million, $5 million market cap. Still not huge. Look at these massive memes that are around. They're hundreds of $1 million of market cap. Okay. So as this begins to complete, I will eventually turn all of my Book into BNB. Now, I wouldn't do this with all your Book tokens. Like I said, just hold half of it liquid and wait for book to go up, hodl it, join the community, join the fun. But with this means that I had a bunch of book, right? I put the book in, and now when book gets another 50%, 40% now better performance compared to BNB, 40% pump essentially, then that means maybe 50. Depends on the price performance of BNB as well, essentially, right? It's quite complex, but this is simple. Follow the yellow line. Once this yellow line completes, I will then have 1.6 BNB to withdraw, right? The book has been fully converted into BNB. I've sold my position of book on the upscale, and I didn't have the stress of having to wait for when I wanted to sell it. And the fact that it's slowly converting over time means that the sell pressure on book is more organic. It's not as harsh. It doesn't really show in the chart as like large red candles because people are essentially selling out, but on a gradual increase of the book price. Very smart little tool, this. It's a way of profit taking with book with a bonus and while earning passive income from the fees all at the same time. So if you're not sure how to do it, we're going to make one as well, just so I'll show you, but I'm going to show you now one that I finished. So yesterday, this one did complete its range, right? It went fully. I made this to go from 165,000 book per BNB to 84,000. As we see now, the current ratio is 64,000, so it broke through that range. I completed the cycle. It ran all the way up, and I took out 0.889 BNB. It arrived in my wallet as RAT BNB. Now, from this, I got a bonus of 5,000 book, which was added when I made the pool. The book didn't come afterwards. It was already included, which meant more BNB for me, right? And I claimed out fees. The fees I claimed out were about $20. And yeah, so it's 0.889 BNB, $528 at today's BNB price. So I got that BNB. I also will buy more mint stake share with that. And the rest of it, I'll put it in my BNB balance, right? Now, this means, yes, it's true, right? You might be thinking this. Could I not just hold book and then my book would be worth more than if I did this way? Possibly, but we don't know the price of book in 2 months or 3 months. We don't know if it's going to be up or down. This gives you a guaranteed way to sell your book without having to watch the chart or have stress. If it becomes more popular, you are just going to start closing out your positions. And I've made a series of different positions, different leverage to make sure I get enough from this. So the first one, position one, is going to give me 1.6 BNB. It's going all the way to 33,000 per book, right? So that is still not met. The third one is for 2.4 BNB, and that's going all the way to 16,000 per book. So that would be an even higher book price, right? And it gave me a 30,000 book bonus as well. Now at these prices, that's getting crazy, right? So this is now a 272 bonus. But as book goes up in value, this is why the final BNB is going to be so high. So $1,400 in this one. This one's going even lower. And it's going to get me, it's going to 3,000 range. So this is still another 50x away, I guess. That's going to come out with 3 BNB out of it, right? And 25,000 more book, while also earning fees. Important, right? And they're all actively earning in their fees. Position 5 is going to get me 0.09. This is a small one because it's going to an extremely low range, right? This is the moonshot one, right? And finally, position 6 is to 53,000. So I've basically balanced across all positions. I'm earning fees in all these positions, and eventually I'll come out the other end with BNB when all of them are met, if book continues to go up. Now let's look at the fees that we're earning from all these positions, okay? So we're just going to go by the BNB, and I'll double it, right? Because LPs usually double, right? So the BNB earned on this one is a couple dollars, right? Here is even smaller because the position is only $50, right? This one has earned 243 book and 0.04 BNB. This one 530 book. This one 600 book, right? So the fees aren't huge yet. It's probably about $20 of fees. But as I said, the trading volume for book is about to go mental. So if you want to do this way, you come here, create new position. You want to choose how much book you want to use, right? So I have already got a lot of positions, so I don't need to make another position for this. But if I wanted to, say I take 10,000 book, right? 10,000 book currently being, right, $90, okay? So I want to put in 10,000 book into this. I have to select my price range. So do I think I'll get a 2x? And you see here the ratio that's going to end at. Okay, so if I get a 2x, then my ending ratio will be 30,000 from 60,000. So we're just going to see a doubling of the book price to BNB, and that will get me a 5% bonus, right? But you could go all the way to 100x. That will get you a 50% bonus, right? So with a very low ratio, right? So if we go there next, you would deposit 10,000 book. You would get 5,000 book bonus deposited for that, right? That would be 15,000 book going into your LP. And finally, when you close that, it will show you how much your position would get you. You can then see that the position will either be locked or unlocked. So if I put it unlocked, right, I can actually close this at any point. I can decide when I want to close it. If you lock it though, you get the boost. So no lock, no boost. Lock it and you get the boost. So that's how you use this tool. I suggest if you're new to this kind of idea, start with a couple dollars and just experiment. And then as you get used to it and you can start running your own numbers on it, then you'll be able to more comfortable to put in more capital. It is riskier than just holding, right? Because locking is always it means that I have to wait until my positions mature. Okay, part 3, Book USD. Right. The reason Book's going up in price is because Book USD is coming. BookUSD is, as I said, an evolution of Moon Yield. So let's first have a look. So Moon Yield was opened and has now been discontinued. It was using Mint Stake Share token, where Mint Stake Share was being put in as a collateral asset to then borrow out stablecoins, stake the stablecoins, or profit take. And there's also a third token involved, which was the share token. You earn the share token by staking your stablecoin, right? Now, this was complex, but essentially it didn't work for Mint Stake Share because Mint Stake Share, as I showed you over here, is a passive income performing dApp. It's brilliant. It earns crazy passive income, but I'm every day generating more and more and more Mint Stake Share tokens. So it's highly inflationary, right? So that means that people were taking their Mint Stake Share from their staking account and putting it into Moon Yield, but not necessarily buying fresh capital to put into it, which meant money was just being kind of rotated around, right? A lot of factors led to the whole platform liquidating everyone in it, essentially, right? And it broke, it bricked. So changes have been made using a different collateral token, which is important because MSS was not the right collateral token for it. So now Book will be the collateral token. Book is a meme coin, so it will have hard swing days of large pumps and large dumps, right? It is possible. But the fact that it's circulating supply is almost all in circulation, right? No more Book can be minted. That means that the price increase on Book is much easier than with Mint Stake Share because Mint Stake Share is highly inflationary, which means there's high sell pressure from people profit taking from Mint Stake Share every day. With Book, you will see more green days than with Mint Stake Share, I think. And simply, if I deposit my Book, say I deposit $100 a Book, and then I come back the next day and Book's gone up 20% value, that means I can then borrow more stable coins with my initial principal investment, right? Which is great. But the risk here is that, of course, meme coins do also go down in value quite harshly as well. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself here with Book USD because it's very complex. Essentially, it's a 3-token ecosystem. Things to know about the launch of BookUSD is that BUS, which is the share token, has no pre-sale, and it will launch Monday, 21st of April at 6 p.m. UTC. And the full BookUSD protocol will launch on Thursday, April 24th, 6 p.m. UTC. So it's very soon. This is happening very soon, okay? What's happening here is that you'll be able to take your Book token that we've been talking about and open a trove. So say we go to 30,000, okay? And we want to borrow out $100 of BUSD. Great, okay? So I put in and I borrowed out. My collateral ratio there is 183. Now I'm going to get liquidated if I go to 150, I believe. I'm not sure on the specifics of it though, so we need to check that. What range do we get liquidated at? Okay, very important. So probably I would like to be safer. So I would go to 50,000 book. Okay, I put 50,000 book in. Now I'm up to 300% collateral ratio. Nice. Okay, that's safe. I get 100 BUSD book from doing this. Okay. Then I would come into stability pool. I can stake that stable coin that I just got into the stability pool, and then I will begin to earn the bus token at a very high APR. I'll also earn book token if other people get liquidated, right? Be aware in the stability pool, it's quite complex, but as liquidations happen, your BUSD can go down that you've staked. Yes, but you get book token rewarded instead. You can also take the bus token you've earned and earn more BUSD and more book from here as well. So there's lots to be done in here. I will have a tutorial on how it all works. Like I said, though, this is the third way to earn from book, and I will be using it, but with a small percentage of my book holdings. I will not be going into this fully. I want to hold a lot of my book liquid and just hodl and wait. And moreover, sorry, I will also be holding a very high collateral ratio with this because of what happened in the past. And I encourage everyone to deposit some of their BUSD into the stability pool if you do borrow. Because what happened with Moon Yield was that not enough people were using the stability pool; they were just selling their MUSD, and that's what caused the biggest issues, I believe, with this platform. Okay, fourth way. What is the fourth way to earn with Book? Very simple. We're going to come back to PancakeSwap, and that would be simply, right, using manual V3 tools on PancakeSwap. So we've already covered this briefly, but if you don't feel confident in using the V3 liquidity tools that they offer, you think it's too complex for you, you're not there yet, then okay, that means you need to understand concentrate liquidity more. If you are not confident with using the BookUSD because you're not very familiar with lending protocols, then okay, then you need to learn more about lending protocols. So therefore, the other way that you can work with your DeFi skills and improve them would be trying out the concentrate liquidity pools, which you can open on PancakeSwap very easily, okay? Now, this is a great way to learn how DeFi works because, like I said, when the BookUSD launches, you're going to see a lot more buy and sell pressure on Book token. Now, the facts about supplying liquidity into PancakeSwap are this: it doesn't matter if the price is going up or down. You're going to earn fees when it goes up and it goes down. All you need to do is predict within what range you think the tokens are going to be in the short to midterm, say 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, if you can manage to predict the range of a token for a year, you are a crypto god, right? You could earn lots of amazing fees with that, right? The tighter you put your range, the more you're going to earn, right? So because I can successfully predict that Book is going to have more trading volume coming up because of the BookUSD launch, that means there will be more fees generated by Book token. Got it? Good. So let's make one. Okay. So we're going to add liquidity because you can make as many of these as you want. Let's make another one. Why not? Right. So we'll take this and we'll go with Book. Okay. So we're going B and Book token. It's a meme, so always we go 1%, because memes are always 1%. You have to decide how much BNB and how much Book you want to put in. So again, we'll go with the idea of 10,000 Book. It's always a good number to use, right? For the use case of today. And then you decide your range. So notice as I squeeze this range, right, we're going to see a couple things happen. The current price, as we said before, just like the V3 liquidity tool, is 64,000 Book per BNB. So if I said that there was going to be more Book per BNB, what this means is that the price of Book is going down in comparison to BNB. So do we think Book is going to be coming down at any point? You can kind of look at the chart and think, well, this has been going up parabolically for a week now. At some point, there needs to be some selling. But with the launch of BookUSD, we have really no way to predict that. So it is a very difficult thing to kind of decide on. I'm not going to decide right now, but because it's a relatively small position, what I can do is experiment here, and I can say, okay, I think that we're going to stay in a 2020 price range for now, right? And if I decided, no, wait, I think we can squeeze a bit more range. So see up there is at a 20% sweep of this price range, we're getting 90% APR, right? If I then decided now we're going to go 10%, right? So we're going to stay in a 10% range up or down, so 20% swing. for the next couple days, I'm going to get 173% APR. If I think, nah, we're going to go 5%. We're not going to have much change in the price of book over the short term, which I don't think is going to happen, but then you can get 400% APR. Right? So you can get extremely high APRs from just manually making liquidity with BNB and book. And this is before the huge amount of book that's going to start to be bought and sold with the launch of BookUSD, especially if there's going to be a large liquidation event. You're going to see insane amounts of trading volume on book token, right? Which of course might bring the price down, but the fees are going to be unbelievable. So that's why I will be getting involved with this as well. So to break it all down, let me just finish this. I'm going to go 15.15. We'll hold that there, right? Which will be 128% APR, right? So I'll add that. You go in, right? So 10,000 book, 0.14 BNB, and we add, right? So this will probably go out of range quite soon because the range is too tight for a launch, essentially. I would suggest a wider range, but you get lower APR with wider range, but it means you don't have to move around. What happens if I go out of range? I have to unpair and repair, which can be a pain in the ass because there's a 1% fee for doing this. Concentrate liquidity, other ways you can earn concentrate liquidity funds with any token, by the way. You don't need to use book. Here I have one with XRP BNB. I hold some XRP, I hold some BNB. It makes me 6% a year, whatever, depending on trading volume. I've seen this as high as 40%. This has been in range for a long time and it works very well. I have $20 here, free money. Great. So this is how smart people earn in DeFi. They use concentrate liquidity, they use lending conservatively, not like degenerate maniacs. Okay, so that's my updates on book, why it's pumping, what you can do with it. Just to recap, that would be the first thing I suggest you do is take about 50% of your planned purchase of book. If you do decide to buy it, it's not financial advice. 50%, hold it, right? Just hold it and see what happens in the long term. If everything goes to plan, you're going to be very happy, man or lady, right? Second one would be use the V3 tools that they provide on their website because it's a great way to sell your book token over time. As you see, it's working perfectly and I'm really enjoying that part of book, and nothing else has that kind of technology. And that's also why book is a big green buy for me at these prices, even at this market cap. Okay. We might see a bit of a dip though. It is a massive pump. So, make your own decision on when to buy in. So I went in with about 25% of my book holdings and I put it into the V3 tools. Third one is get involved with the launch of BookUSD, either trying to snipe the launch of the bus token on Monday at 6 p.m. UTC or getting involved with book lending when it opens and deposit your book. I'll be going with about 25% of my book tokens into lending. I'll be borrowing about 300 to 350% ratio just to slowly build my position in there. And hopefully we have cracked the puzzle of getting a really nice lending protocol for the community, right? Fingers crossed. Let's see. And fourth, we have the manual V3 tools. So I'd either decide to go with the V3 tools on the site or go with the V3 tools manually. Okay. And I kind of do a bit of both because I'm, able to, but if you're not sure about it, I suggest actually starting with manual so that you can understand how it all works. Then advance to the tools on the site so you can further understand how the site ones work. You don't need to use your entirety of your book holdings to experiment with these tools, just a portion of them so you can be comfortable with them. And if everyone kind of follows this kind of way of doing it and not selling your MSS for book, then we will see success. More people involved, more safety, better chart, all very important stuff. Okay, peace. I've been Crypto Mischief. Looking forward to the launch next week. I'll be covering it, of course. And be good to each other. Don't get wrecked.